All right, hi and welcome to the Advanced Workshop. You know, Session 2 is all about training our hands to do all kinds of things, and this Advanced Workshop is going to put everything that we've learned so far to work so that we can get you where you want to be with your fingerstyle playing. All right, to get us started, we're going to do a different kind of stretching warm-up exercise. We've been doing these big, large things where we're moving big muscles. That's not what this one is about at all. This one is a not-so-simple warm-up of moving our fingers on the neck of the instrument. So we're not going to worry about playing. This is strictly an exercise of moving your fingers, and we're going to call it the spider crawl. Okay, so I want you to put all 4 of your fretting hand fingers on the first string at about the 5th fret, in the 5th position, if you want to think about it like that. So I've got my first finger at the 5th fret, second finger at the 6th, third at the 7th, pinky at the 8th, and everybody is fretting down on that first string. Okay, here's the deal. We're at the 5th position, all 4 fingers on the first string, and I want you to raise up your middle 2 fingers, okay? And we're going to set those middle 2 fingers down on the next string, okay? Now I want you to raise up 1 and 4. And we're going to set those down on the 2nd string. Okay, so now everybody should be on the 2nd string. Here we go, raise up 2 and 4. Put those on the 3rd string. Raise up 1 and 4, sorry. Put those on the 3rd string. Everybody should be on the 3rd. Now raise up 2 and 3. Put those on the next string. 1 and 4 on the next string. 2 and 3, the next string. 1 and 4 on the next string. 2 and 3, and 1 and 4. Now, as you're doing it, if you don't have much motor skill control, your fingers are going to want to move, you know, like move the 3rd, move the 2nd. What I want you to try and do as best as possible to move them both together. Okay, so now we're going to go back down to the 1st string, and now instead of moving the middle 2, we're going to move our 1 and 3. You'll find that this is a little bit harder. So we're going to move just 1 and 3. Just take them off and on. Okay, now move 1 and 3 up to the next string set. 2 and 4 to the next string set. 1 and 3, next string set. 2 and 4, lift, next string set. 1 and 3, lift, next string set. 2 and 4, lift, next string. Okay, everybody should be on the 4th string now. 1 and 3, move to the 5th. 2 and 4, 5th. 1 and 3, and 2 and 4. All right, now let's go back down here. I got one more variation for you. We're going to skip strings now. So here I want you to put 1 and 3 on the 2nd string. And now 2 and 4 is going to skip all the way up to the 3rd string. 1 and 3 is going to get up, and then he skips to the 4th string. 2 and 4 is going to raise up and go down to the 5th string. 1 and 3 are going to raise up and go to the 6th string, and then 2 and 4 will join them on 6th. That is a tricky exercise that we just went through, and it's not so easy to move our fingers. We all think that we can move our fingers, but a few weeks of working on this is going to give your fingers some amazing independence that they may not already have that could be currently slowing you down. So practice this on your own time. Try and see if you can get a little bit better with that exercises. That's a great exercise. All right, now let's look at the last 2 chords in C progressions, number 6 and number 7. This is the Advanced Workshop, so this is going to be a little bit tougher. Number 6 is a typical pop-sounding chord progression that I've played really numerous times over the years, and it's going to use some contemporary chord forms. So we have a C2, which I'm going to play like this. 2nd finger, open G, 3rd finger on the D, pinky on the G. Then an A minor 7th, just kind of the bottom half of a normal A minor 7th. It's just I'm going to keep that G up there ringing with my pinky. Then I have an F2 chord. Again, I'm going to keep that pinky there. I'm going to keep that common note. So I have an F, a G, and a C. Remember, all of these are spelled out in the printed materials. Then I have a G suspended, like a G chord, but I'm going to put my first finger down on this C. That's the G suspended, and that's the G. So you'll notice all of those 4 chords have that G as the top note. Notice how this melody note in the top line stays consistent. Making melody notes connect together with chords is a trick to making a smooth sounding chord progression. All right, so let's play this. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Do it again and. And we end up on that C2. All right, let's play that one more time. We'll just leave that up and we're going to play that one more time a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat. Keep that G ringing out. And end on the C2 there. All right, now let's look at number 7. Okay, this is a chord progression that's going to use some jazz chords. So as I'm teaching you these progressions, I'm not just teaching you the fingering to the particular pattern. I want you to also learn some of these chord forms underneath your belt. Okay, so we have a C major 7th. We're going to use this one. I'm up here at the 3rd position. C, G, B natural, and a C. I can also bar this down if I wanted to go all the way down to the 1st string. Next chord is a D minor 7th, so I have to go up here to D. That's my root. Regular bar form of a minor 7th. Then we have an F with a G in the bass, so I'm going to jump down here. That's an F chord, F, A, and C, and I'm going to play it with my pinky, 2nd and 1st, so that my 3rd finger can reach this G at the bottom. And I'm playing just the 6th, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd string. And then I'm back to my C major 7th. Now remember, I can bar these and get all the way down to that 1st string, even on the F with the A. If I just bar that right there, I can get that. All right, so let's take a look at this. The 1st line uses the inside 4 strings for all of the chords, and in the 2nd line, I switch to using the melody notes on the 1st string. So let's play it. It's got some triplets in it as well. 1, 2, ready, go. Now in the 2nd line, I'm up on I'm using the last 3 strings. Very good. All right, now let's set our metronome to 88 beats per minute. It's a good bit faster than where we were at. And let's play it again. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Next line, switch to the top 3 strings. Sorry, I'll play that again. Do it again from the 1st line, ready, go. Next line. All right, now let's switch to a new key. This would be the key of G. So look at the chords in G exercises. Just like before, we're just going to look at number 6 and number 7. Again, a pop progression, and then we're going to throw a jazz progression in. So don't be intimidated by the look of all the 16th notes there. This is the first time we've seen 16th notes in this course. We're going to play it nice and slow. What I want you to do is try and hold out the last note of each group of those 16th notes as the melody note, so they ring out. So the only chord that might be a little bit unfamiliar to you is the D suspended, which is the fourth of those four chords. We have a G, E minor 7th, C2, and then we have a D suspended. How we're going to do this is, it's like a regular C chord. I'm just going to move it up 2 frets. So I have a D, an F sharp, and then that, again, that great dissonance between the F sharp and the G, and a high D there. So it's not complex at all. It's just strictly an open C, just moved up 2 frets. Very cool sounding D suspended chord. All right, so how this one is going to go, I'll play it for you one time through. Play it with me. Ready, and. Great. Now let's go back to jazz mode here for this last progression in G. We've got 4 jazz chords, good jazz forms here. A G major 7th, 3rd position, G, F sharp, B, and a D. Then a G sharp diminished 7. Remember that little circle means diminished. And I have my 2nd finger on the G sharp, and then I'm going to bar the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string with my 1st finger at the 3rd fret. Have that B underneath with my 3rd finger and the D. Regular old A minor 7th. Then we have a D 9th. 2nd finger on the D, 1st finger on the F sharp, C and an E. Remember, if this is too fast, just look at the printed materials and stop and get these chord forms down. Here we go. So if I was playing this, I've got triplets and an accent in it. Ready, and. Play it with me. 1, 2, ready, and. Go ahead and repeat it, and. Great job. Okay, now moving on to the key of D with another pop progression and yet another jazz progression. So look at the 5th chord progression. This is in the key of D, so chords in D, exercise 5. This is more of the pop contemporary sounding one. It's an arpeggiated progression that has a descending bass line going down the scale combined with some triplets that are going up and down. So it sounds more complex than it is, and you'll find it's a very pleasant sounding progression. So the chords that we're using are a D2. Now I have a D2 with a C sharp, so how can I play that? I'm just going to reach over with my pinky and play the C sharp there and still keep this other chord ringing. B minor 11th. Regular A suspended here, nothing special there. Then I have a G2, or I can even do this. Keep that D as the melody note there. D with an F sharp, we've already played that. E minor 7th, we've already played. A7 suspended. And I'm going to go thumb 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going up and down. Now let's play it together. 1, 2, ready, go. something like that. All right, look at the last progression in D. This is another progression that's going to use some new jazz forms. So we start out with our old friend, a D major 7th, except we're going to play it in this form. So I have a second finger on the 5th fret D, first finger on that F sharp, third finger on the C sharp, F sharp there with the pinky. And then our next chord is a D sharp diminished 7. Look, I can just keep that pinky there, switch my fingers around. Second finger on the D sharp now. Third finger on the A, first finger on the C. And again, keeping that F sharp, I'm going to have to switch my fingers around. E minor 9th, second finger, first finger on the G, third finger on the D. Keeping that F sharp, remember common tones make a progression sound connected. And I'm playing an A 13th. An A, G, C sharp, F sharp, good jazzy sounding progression. Let me play this for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it ends up on a D 6th, which is that chord there. Let's see if we can play it together. A little bit slower. 1, 2, ready, and. Repeat it. All right, look at the chords in A at that last progression. Now here we have another pop sounding progression. Notice how in pop sounding progressions, we're going to substitute a 2 chord for the major chord. And oftentimes we embellish the minor chord by turning it into a minor 11th or a minor 9th even. So instead of an A, I would play an A2. Instead of an F sharp minor, I would play an F sharp minor 11th. Instead of a B minor, I'd play a B minor 11th. And then we leave that 7th just as it is. Except I'm going to put the pinky down on that D right there. So this is chords in A, exercise 5. 1, 2, ready, and. All right, did you hear how that consistent melody note, that high repeating E throughout all the chords, helps connect those chords together? All right, we're on the home stretch. For the last of our progressions, look at the chords in E, the last 2 of those, number 3 and number 4. Now, we looked at the chords for number 3 in the lesson, so let's get right into it. Let's turn on the metronome here to 84. Start right there. Now, we did the chords in the lesson, so I won't review those. And we're doing syncopation, so let's play it together. 1, this is chords in E, exercise 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. Play that one more time. See how that last E anticipates the top 3 notes, and then we have the bottom E. Here we go. Do it one more time. 2, ready, and. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of other movement between these chords with an arpeggio on the half note chords. So this is something that you're going to be doing a lot as you accompany singers or instrumentalists in a fingerstyle way, is just arpeggiating these chords in between. So let's leave this on. Play this number 4. Same progression. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, we're one more time. 2, ready, and. Great. All right, great job on pushing through all of these chord progressions. I realize that playing progression after progression is not exciting, but each one of these is teaching you an important skill. I hope you're seeing how slowly we're adding layer upon layer of what we need to do. So practice them and learn the chord forms and the fingerstyle skills that are involved. All right, well now let's put some of these skills to work. Let's go back to the original song that we learned, Ode to Joy, and we're going to elaborate a little bit more upon it now that you have a little bit more control over your fingers. So this intermediate version has a little repeated note that's in between the melody notes, similar to what we did before. In music, a repeating note is called an ostinato. So this version adds a little ostinato part to it. So as we're playing it, remember the original version was... kind of went through like that. Now I'm going to add a little ostinato G in between all of these notes. So I have this little third string G that's going back and forth. Let's just do that first measure a few times. Ready, and. Let's do it again, that much, and. Kind of help get the flow of that. It's actually, it sounds a whole lot more full, but it's pretty easy to play when we're doing that. It goes through the song just like normal. And then it basically repeats that line. Look down at the third line. This is where things change up a little bit. I keep that G holding, but I still am having my ostinato G in there. Also notice that I added a few extra notes in those three chords. A minor 7th, D with the F sharp in the bass, and then a G where I'm playing a G, a B, and a G. And then we're back to basically the same thing as the second line. So a little ostinato part, adding these little ostinato parts as you're playing a song really helps fill out the arrangement, and they're relatively easy to play. All right, now once you have the motions down, then begin working with the metronome to really smooth out your playing. When you can play this version of Ode to Joy at about 92 beats per minute, then you're ready to move on to the next lesson. All right, here's Ode to Joy at the performance tempo of 92 beats per minute. Great job. I know this has been a long session. Keep up the great work on it, and I'll see you in the next lesson.